G'day legends, welcome to my Letterboxd wrap up for March. I'm going to give you a speed run of everything I watched, so make sure you stick around for some great movie recommendations. To start off the month, I watched Mickey 17. Finally some cinema this year that's actually half decent. You guys all know the story. It follows Mickey, played by Robert Pattinson, who works as an expendable. He dies multiple times as part of his job, helping to explore a new planet. This definitely feels a bit unfocused at times. Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette's characters feel pretty goofy, a bit cartoonish, and overall a little bit immature when you see it as a caricature of Trump, mainly because we've got such nuanced portrayals recently, for example in The Apprentice, so it just doesn't come across quite right. That being said, Robert Pattinson's performance here is absolutely brilliant, and overall Mickey 17, it's not as good as Bong Joon-ho's other work, but there's enough fun science fiction shenanigans here for anyone to enjoy watching this. My full video review is in the card above. Then I watched The Revenant. This follows a man played by Leonardo DiCaprio who sets out on a path of vengeance against those who left him for dead after a bear mauling. This film was incredible. DiCaprio wholeheartedly deserves an Oscar for this. It's a brutal movie that reminds you how lucky we are to live in the times that we do, with so many comforts at our fingertips. If you look a bit deeper, you can read this film as a story about stoicism, refusing to give in to the cruel nature of the world that we live in. There's also some other really interesting fan theories that I'll leave for you to check out in the Letterboxd reviews section. After that, I watched the short film Quiet Apocalypse. This is only a few minutes long. It's available here on YouTube, but it really stuck with me. And that's an impressive feat for how short this actually is. It masterfully builds a hauntingly beautiful post-apocalyptic world. It's cosmic horror distilled perfectly in just a few minutes. Make sure you go and check it out. Then I rewatched The Musician Monkey twice. But I am not going to show this movie here because this is like a Letterboxd virus. It's basically a GIF from 1878. It's only 10 seconds long, but if you're a Letterboxd purist like me, if I watch that, I have to log it. And if I show it in this video, I have to watch it, which then means every single month as I'm editing the previous month's video, I'm going to be watching Musician Monkey again to put it in that edit. I don't want to get trapped in that loop, so I'm not looking at it. Don't show it to me if you see me in person. After that, I watched Conclave. This movie follows a group of cardinals in Rome as they have to vote to elect a new pope after the death of the previous one. I'm not a Catholic, but as a Christian myself, it's really interesting to see a movie with such heavy church themes be so positively received by so many people in society. And overall, I'm happy about that because I think the movie discusses some important questions around faith and around being a good person, making the right decisions. But that being said though, I wasn't the biggest fan of this. It just felt like too much of a slow burn and everything wrapped up just too neatly at the end. But look, 2 hours of listening to Ralph Fiennes breathing through his nose was actually really peaceful. Then I watched The Electric State. $320 million for this. I cannot believe it, and neither can the rest of the internet. My full video review on this is in the card above, and I'm not going to waste any more time on this movie other than to say that it was an extremely mid, cliche-ridden kids movie that should have been a dark and atmospheric, thought-provoking movie for adults, especially when you have a look at the source material, which apparently is a brilliant book. After that, I watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is a classic for a reason. Some of the illustrations here for the landscape shots are absolutely beautiful, and they made me just want to jump into the frame and live in these places. I love the whole 1930s charm on display here. The music is really nice to listen to as well, and the animal characters are just so expressive, and they gave me some genuine laughs. There's still a lot to enjoy here as a fully grown adult. And it felt like a nice escape from the world that we have today. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, please consider subscribing or leaving a like or a comment. Unfortunately, these videos, they don't do well in the algorithm at all. It usually bombs, but I love making them, so all of your support is really, really appreciated. Thanks, guys. Back to the video. Then I watched Snow White, the 2025 live-action remake. My full video review is once again in the card above, but man, this was bad. Look, I will say the Hi-Ho rendition is an absolute banger song and a half, and it almost makes it worth seeing this in cinemas. Almost. But not quite. There's so many things wrong with this. It loses so much of the charm of the original. The prince isn't even a prince. He's a bandit. Rachel Zegler only puts in half of a good performance, and Gal Gadot is unfortunately just as bad here as people have been saying. But still, hi-ho guys. What a song, am I right? After that, I watched Fantastic Four. I've been meaning to watch this for ages, pretty much since childhood, and yeah, it was really great to finally get to do so with my girlfriend. And look, there is some terrible CGI, the pacing is a bit off, and it does feel bereft of any truly memorable moments, but on the flip side, the cast for the four are truly great. I like how while this is a lot more of a kids movie than some of the other 2000s superhero movies, at least it just feels a little bit more dramatically grounded when you compare it to some of the recent MCU entries with gags every 5 seconds. Overall, I did have fun with this, and it has that really nostalgic mid-2000s charm to it that is really nice to sit through and watch. Then I finally got around to watching The Brutalist, and this really is a movie of two halves. The first is brilliant, the soundtrack goes unbelievably hard and definitely deserved the Oscar, while the cinematography is truly beautiful. It's got shots that are gonna stay with me for a long time. It was such a great feeling as well to have an interval in the screening. It was integrated really well into the actual movie itself, which I appreciated. And yeah, I loved how the first half was all about a man struggling with trauma, down on his financial luck, trying to make a name and a life for himself as a creative. I'm such a sucker for a story like that, but unfortunately the second half, it just felt a bit all over the place, and a lot of the plot threads just lacked the resolution or catharsis that I was hoping for. After that, I watched X-Men Days of Future Past. I hadn't seen this since I watched it in 240p on my iPod Touch back in the day, so I appreciated this a lot more now. It's truly impressive for how well it communicates the super confusing timelines and temporal mechanics. This almost feels like a Nolan-inspired plot, and there's some great scenes, especially the Quicksilver one. It is a bit of a slow burn, but it's definitely worth it. And for me, I truly love when a film has the guts to put forward a positive and optimistic message about the world like this one does. How it's never too late to change who you are and to make the world and yourself a better place or person. Love the wholesome ending for the X-Men here. And finally, to finish the month, I watched Novocaine. Shout out to the Murphy brothers who helped me get to the premiere. Me and Tom had a great time, but the movie, I really do feel like it was wrecked by the trailers. I've got a video coming on that soon, but yeah, sadly for me as well, the whole romance plot just didn't feel believable to me at all. Nate, played by Jack Quaid, the main guy in this film, just comes across as a bit of a pathetic character rather than a heroic one. And again, once I'd already seen the best parts in the trailer, this movie, it just didn't really have too much to offer in my books. Sorry to say, guys. But anyway, that's what I watched in March, and it was a good month for movie watching for me. Make sure you let me know down in the comments what you watched in March, if I had any bad takes here, and if you want more videos like this, my playlist with all these monthly recap videos is in the next screen.